Hi, it's Mr. Ta, and I'll be reading Roxaboxen with you. While I read, I may ask you a thinking question or two to help you do your best thinking. After I'm done, you should write your answers in your online reading response journal as a read aloud response. Remember, you can always watch the video again if you need to. And now, Roxaboxen by Alice McLaren, illustrated by Barbara Cooney. Marion called it Roxaboxen. She always knew the name of everything. There across the road, it looked like any rocky hill. Nothing but sand and rocks, some old wooden boxes, cactus and greasewood and thorny ocotillo, but it was a special place. The street between Roxaboxen and the houses curved like a river, so Marion named it the River Road. After that, you had to ford a river to reach Roxaboxen. All right, time out. I know it's really early in the book, but I really do need to explain something here. First off, to ford a river means to basically take a boat to cross a river. Now, I want you to pay attention to the language that the author uses to describe Roxaboxen, because this place is clearly a special place in her life. And so she's going to use her language to make it feel special. She's going to use really the best words she can. And I want you to see, especially here, in these first two pages, how she does that. In fact, in the very first page, you can see what reality is. Roxaboxen is like any rocky hill: sand, rocks, wooden boxes, cactus, greasewood, and thorny ocotillo, which is a southwestern thorny bush with sticks on it. But to them, it was special. And look at the page, how it goes from like just being basically like a regular desert town to the next page where it's all blue and beautiful. And it's kind of interesting that this road here, this dirt road, becomes a river on this page. Do you think it's a real river? No, it's not a real river at all. It's just a road. That's why they call it the River Road. Get it? It's a joke. Anyway, when you look at the words as we keep on reading, I want you to pay attention to how special, almost sacred, the words are that she uses to describe Roxaboxen. It's not just any old place. She's going to try to find her best words. So we're going to stop every time we see like the words are really making it special. Okay, so I'm going to read that again. Time in. Let's go back to that last line. After that, you had to ford a river to reach Roxaboxen. Of course, all of Marion's sisters came: Anna May and Frances and little Jean. Charles from next door, even though he was 12. Oh, and Eleanor, naturally, and Jamie with his brother Paul. Later on, there were others, but these were the first. Well, not really the first. Roxaboxen had always been there and must have belonged to others long before. When Marion dug up a tin box filled with round black pebbles, everyone knew what it was. It was a buried treasure. Those pebbles were the money of Roxaboxen. You could still find others like them if you looked hard enough. So some days became treasure hunting days, with everybody trying to find that special kind. And then on other days, you might just find one without even looking. Time out again. I just want to show you. Here's what we're talking about special. She finds a tin box filled with round black pebbles, and then everyone knows it's buried treasure. She doesn't just say, "We decided to pretend this was buried treasure." Everybody knows it's buried treasure. Again, we're looking for the fact that she uses the word treasure makes you know that obviously it's special. It's treasure after all. All right, let's keep on going. Time in. And then on other days, you might just find one without even looking. A town of Roxaboxen began to grow, traced in lines of stone. Main Street first, edged with the whitest ones, and then the houses. Charles made his of the biggest stones. After all, he was the oldest. At first, the houses were very plain, but soon they all began to add more rooms. The old wooden boxes could be shelves or tables or anything you wanted. You could find pieces of pottery for dishes. Round pieces were best. Time out again. I promise I'm not going to be stopping much more after this. Look at what they mean when they build houses. Are these real houses? No. They just trace those little areas with rocks, and these become their houses. And it's special enough that they describe Main Street with the whitest rocks. And at first they were plain, but then they added more rooms, and the boxes were shelves or tables and pottery and pieces of pottery for dishes. They've made Roxaboxen into a real place, or real enough to them. Time in. You could find pieces of pottery for dishes. Round pieces were best. Later on, there was a town hall. Marion was mayor, of course. That was just the way she was. Nobody minded. After a while, they added other streets. Frances moved to one of them and built herself a new house outlined in desert glass, bits of amber, amethyst, and sea green. A house of jewels. All right, time out. Look at those words. Bits of amber, amethyst, and sea green, a house of jewels. Amber, amethyst, and sea green are all precious stones or semi-precious stones. Amber is sort of an orangey stone. Amethyst is kind of a purple, and sea green, of course, is just a green stone. Um, but she calls them a house of jewels. She doesn't just say colorful, colorful glass. Are these made out of amber, amethyst, and sea green? Well, take a look at the picture. These are all bottles. That might even be a beer bottle. Old bottles that they had found. But again, to her, it's a house of jewels. Remember, the author's got a really special place. When an author wants to write about a special place, they're going to use special language to describe that place. So she didn't just say broken glass. It's a house of jewels. Time in. And because everybody had plenty of money, there were plenty of shops. Jean helped Anna May in the bakery, pies and cakes and bread baked warm in the sun. There were two ice cream parlors. Was Paula's ice cream the best or Eleanor's? Everybody kept trying them both. In Roxaboxen, you can eat all the ice cream you want. Everybody had a car. All you needed was something round for a steering wheel. Of course, if you broke the speed limit, you had to go to jail. The jail had cactus on the floor to make it uncomfortable, and Jamie was the policeman. Anna May, quiet little Anna May, was always speeding. You'd think she liked to go to jail. See her Anna May there with Jamie as the policeman. And look, everybody with their car. But if you had a horse, you could go as fast as the wind. There were no speed limits for horses, and you didn't have to stay on the roads. All you needed for a horse was a stick and some kind of bridle, and you could gallop anywhere. Sometimes there were wars. Once there was a great war, boys against girls. Charles and Marion were the generals. The girls had Fort Irene, and they were all Girl Scouts. The boys made a fort at the other end of Roxaboxen, and they were all bandits. Here's the boys as bandits, and the girls as Girl Scouts. And oh, look, they're under attack. Oh, the raids were fierce, loud with whooping and the stamping of horses. The whirling swords of Ocotillo had sharp thorns, but when you reached your fort, you were safe. Roxaboxen had a cemetery, in case anyone died, but the only grave in it was for a dead lizard. Each year, when the cactus bloomed, they decorated the grave with flowers. Sometimes in the winter, when everybody was at school and the weather was bad, no one went to Roxaboxen at all. Not for weeks and weeks. But it didn't matter. Roxaboxen was always waiting. Roxaboxen was always there. And spring came, and the ocotillo blossomed, and everybody sucked the honey from its flowers, and everybody built new rooms, and everybody decided to have jeweled windows. That summer, there were 3 new houses on the east slope and 2 new shops in Main Street. And so it went. The seasons changed, and the years went by. Roxaboxen was always there. Time out again. Now, let's see if you remember. Spring comes and the ocotillo blossomed. Everybody sucked the honey from its flowers. Again, here's the author not only just using visual cues, not just talking about what it looks like, but even what Roxboxen tastes like. They all suck the honey from these flowers, and everybody built new rooms, and everybody decided to have jeweled windows. Now, do you remember? What do you think she's using, or what are those kids are using as jeweled windows? You can tell the screen. Go ahead. Yep. Uh-huh. That glass. Again, she didn't just say they used colored glass. Why not? Not special enough. Jeweled windows. Sounds much more special. Time in. And so it went. The seasons changed and the years went by. Roxaboxen was always there. The years went by and the seasons changed until at last the friends had all grown tall, and one by one they moved away to other houses, to other towns. So you might think that was the end of Roxaboxen, but oh no, because none of them ever forgot Roxaboxen. Not one of them ever forgot. Years later, Marion's children listened to stories of that place and fell asleep dreaming dreams of Roxaboxen. Gray haired Charles picked up a black pebble on the beach and stood holding it, remembering Roxaboxen. More than 50 years later, Frances went back, and Roxaboxen was still there. She could see the white stones bordering Main Street, and there, where she had built her house, the desert glass still glowed, amethyst, amber, and sea green. And that's Roxaboxen. Now, did you see all the special language that the author used to describe that special place? If you look at this book again, really pay attention to all the words that she uses to describe what things look like and feel like and even taste like. When you write about a special place, it's important to make it feel special by using special language, the best language you can use. So that way people understand how much it means to you. Good luck with it. And until next time, I'm Mr. Ta.